Haribol, Vinita.
Yes, Mataji, we can start, Mataji.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Sorry to make the devotees wait. We were just waiting, for 4 or 5 minutes to see if others would join. So we will just start with the class. Yeah, welcome everybody. Hare Krishna. I hope everybody had a nice Gaur Purnima festival last week.
Yes, Mataji.
What did you do?
We celebrated Gaur Purnima, and we also decorated like the altars. We ate
We made cake.
We made cake. We ate sabudana khichdi. We ate sabudana kheer.
Awesome. Great. Okay. Any volunteers who want to go ahead and recite the prayers? Is it clear? The screen, everybody can see?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Any volunteers who want to recite the invocation? Okay. Bhavna Mataji, you want to go ahead?
Yes, Mataji. Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. You did not recite, but you sang so beautifully. So nice, Mataji. Was this thinking to
Thank you,
listen
Mataji.
more to you? So nice,
Thank you.
Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll go on to the verses for revision. At some point of time, I was thinking it'll be a good exercise, for us to do like take a verse and add tags to the verse. Like let's like take this verse for example. So we could add tags to it saying that what are the points that come to your mind when you think of this verse, like one is Kali Yuga, right? This verse is related to Kali Yuga. And then it also talks about the dull headedness of people in Kali Yuga, right? So the qualities of people. So these are like the tags we can add to these verses, right? It will help us if we can categorize them with tags. That way, when we are looking for some reference verses, like, okay, I want to speak on Kali Yuga, then we'll have some verses handy, right, which will have this Kali Yuga tag. All you need to do is just search for Kali Yuga and then you'll find these references there, right? Like some verses about Guru, like we saw, right? Like Guru is he's the captain of the ship, like that. We can also offer these verses in glorification of our Guru Maharajas, right? During the Vyas Puja celebrations, we can offer these verses to the Guru and say that I was inspired when reading, I was thinking of my Guru, like that. So that I thought that will be a good exercise. Do you think we should do it in the class sometime, this exercise? Like, I would like participation of everybody.
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Yeah, it'll help, right, to more better understand the verses and try to remember, right, the context of the verses, right? Maybe what shall we try it in the next class or this class? You're all ready to try this class?
As you wish, Mataji. We are okay.
Okay. So let us do one thing, because we are kind of completed the first canto. So let's try this exercise and see for some time, if it really, if everybody is interested, then we can kind of go about it. Just give me a few seconds. I'll just pull up a spreadsheet or something. Okay. Or let me do one thing. Let me add here. Let's do. Okay, let's try here. Let's just start with this verse, for example. Okay, let me reduce the font. Are you able to see with reduced font? I'm trying to see if we can fit more. So these are the verses. Let me add column to the left. Okay, verse numbers. Anybody remember what verse number is this? 1.1.0, right? Okay. So all of you are able to see this spreadsheet kind of a thing? I would encourage everybody to participate, so it will be interesting for all to learn, okay? Yeah. So what are the tags? What all comes to your mind when you look at this verse? You can say Kaliva, right? What else? I want this to be like interactive, so please feel free to pitch in, whatever you think could be keywords, like tags or keywords, when you're trying to remember these verses.
Short duration of life.
Yeah, that's a great one. Short duration of life in Kali Yuga. Oh. Even qualities, right, of people, you can say, in Kali Yuga. That's good enough, right? Or do you think we should add more?
I think only keywords is enough, Mataji. Otherwise, we are repeating the
Verse.
Yeah.
You're right, Prabhu. Okay, let's go to this one. Anybody remember the verse number for this one? Let's see. 14? I don't know. I don't remember. Let's leave it some number now. It's a double digit for sure. Okay, what comes to your mind when you, this is talking about what?
Holy name.
Very
Importance of
good,
holy
yeah,
name.
holy name, this is a verse glorifying holy name. So when you're talking regarding chanting in some class, or you want to preach somebody about chanting, you can always, say that this is actually chanting conquers even fear person. So solution to anxiety, do you think that's a good one?
Yes.
And then Samsrutam Ghoram, what does it say? Miserable family life. Right?
Samsara, miserable.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, miserable samsara, or the cycle of birth and death, like they say. So these are some nice way to tag this, right? And then let's go on to the other verse. This is about whom? This is glorifying Who are they saying? Tvamna Sandarshito. Who is it referring to? Yeah.
Spiritual master.
Now, in this reference, it is referring to
Ved Vyas.
Suta Goswami, right?
With Goswami.
They are saying, the sages are saying that, it is by the will of providence, we have come into your association and like that. So, and they are calling him what? Okay, let's do it one by one. Dustaram Nistitirshyatam. Anybody remember? Cross.
Difficult to cross the material world, the ocean of material world.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. Ocean of material world. Very nice, Mataji. And what else does it talk of? It again talks of?
Kali Yuga.
Yeah, Kali. What is the quality being said here about Kali Yuga? Sattvaharam, right? The people in Kali Yuga, they have lost all the mode of goodness. So what are the modes which are there?
Passion and ignorance.
Yeah, very nice. And then?
Leadership, Captain Karnadhara.
Yeah, Karnadhara. Who's the captain of the ship? The?
Yes, no.
Who's the captain?
Guru.
Guru, yeah.
Means here.
Yeah, Guru is the captain of the ship. So this is a verse you can use to glorify your Guru, right? During any Vyas Puja, you can offer this verse to your Guru. That, I'm a lost soul without any qualities, but with your help, I can cross this ocean. Right? Okay, any other words come to you? Any other context? Okay, let's move on to the next verse. Oh, I let it out today's verse. Okay, we did 3 verses. That's good, right? Next week, shall we do another few more?
Yes,
Very good exercise. Okay, now let's go on to reciting the verses. And like always, I would appreciate if there are any volunteers who would like to recite.
Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead.
प्रायेण अल्पायुषः सभ्य कलौ अस्मिन् युगे जनाः मन्दासु मन्दमतयो मन्दभाग्या हि उपाधृता.
Preeti, do you want to brief about the meaning of this verse?
Okay, prayena alpayusha sabhya means prayena alpa is short life. Kalau is in the age of Kali. Asmin yuge janaha, the people in the age of Kali. Manda is being dull or lazy. Sumanda matayo is guided by people who are lazy. Manda bhagya is not very lucky, unlucky basically. Upadruta is distraction. So people in the age of Kali have short lives. They are lazy, they are misguided by lazy people, they are unlucky, and above all, very distracted.
Distracted or even distressed also is okay, right?
Yeah,
Very
distressed and distracted, and also quarrelsome, Prabhupada says.
Yeah, Kali is known as the age of hypocrisy and quarrel, right? That's what I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound like a very, pessimistic person, but that's what our Shastras say. It's the age of hypocrisy and quarrel. So we see that all the time, right? We hardly meet genuine people in this age, except for the oasis of devotees, who are so kind and giving us their association in this Kali Yuga. So other than that, it's not easy. So yeah, thank you so much, Preeti. Beautiful explanation. Let's move on to the next verse. Okay, any volunteers for this? Okay, I see 2 hands here. Advait, do you want to go ahead?
Okay, Mataji. Apana samsitam goram yanama sutoganam tata sadhya vichinyante yad vivede swayam bhayam.
Yeah, okay. Can you pronounce this word, please?
What, Mataji?
Can you pronounce the highlighted word?
Samsritim
Very good, thank you. And this one, please.
gunan
Nice. This one.
vimucheta
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because I couldn't hear clearly. So thank you so much. Anybody want to volunteer on the meaning of this verse? We just, tagged a few keywords and references to this. Okay. If there are no volunteers, let me go ahead. It may be a good revision for me. So, apanna means obtained, like I was also giving you the reference of the Bhagavad Gita verse, avyaktam vyaktim apanna. Manyante mama buddhaya. Like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that manyante mam abudhaya, like the foolish people think that I have manifested from the unmanifest. So they think that Krishna is just a form, the nirakar is the permanent nature, and from the Krishna is just a form like that. So Krishna denies that. He says that they are foolish people who think like that. So apanna means obtained. After obtaining the samsmritam ghoram, when you have been put into this samsara cycle, ghora means which is so miserable, right? Yeah. Yannama vivashogranan, and you chant. Grinan is the word for chanting. Vivashogranan, helplessly you chant Yannama. Tata sadhyo vimucheta. But what does it do? Sadhyo is, we've seen this word many times, instantly, right? Immediately, vimucheta. Vimucheta, the root word is from moksha, right? Moksha is liberated. Vimucheta is, again, the same meaning, where you're liberated. Yad bibheti swayam bhayam. So what happens? Fear personified, swayam bhayam, the fear itself, Yad bibheti is afraid of this nama, which gives us immediate liberation from this samsritam ghoram. Samsritam ghoram, from this miserable samsara cycle into which we have fallen, apanna. Okay? Yeah.
Mataji, can I recite?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Apanna samsritim goram yannama vivasho graham tata sadyo vimuccheta yad viveti swayam bhayam.
Jai Ho Bal Vrunda.
Thank you. That's so beautiful recitation. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Okay, let's move on to the next verse. This one, any volunteers who want to recite this one, please?
Mataji, can Balavinda say?
Okay, go ahead.
Yata pada samsara sota muna pashamayana tadaya
Punanti
punanti
upasprishta
vashrishda shatayo anvastadayo anupansevaya.
Very good. Thank you. Svardhunyaponu sevaya. Yeah. Yatpada samshaya suta munaya prashamayana sadhya punantyupasprishtha svardhunyaponu sevaya. Okay, anybody want to take a jab at the meanings for this verse? Why is everybody quiet today? Okay, Advait, you have your hands raised. Is it from area or do you want to share something?
Mataji, it's from earlier, but I can say this one.
Okay, try.
Yat pada samsita suta munaya pasamanaya sadhya punanti upaspuchta sadhyo apo nivishevaya.
Good, thank you. I see another raised hand, Tulsi Manjari. Mataji, do you want to go ahead? Do you have something to say?
Just to read the verse.
Okay, go ahead.
Yatpada samshaya sutta munaya prashamayanaha sadhya punantyupasprishtha svarthunyaponu. Thank you, Mataji.
Very nice, thank you. Okay, let's try to see the meanings. And anybody knows what pada is?
Lotus feet.
Yeah, pada is feet. Samshraya? Anybody?
Taking shelter?
Yeah, complete shelter, right? Ashraya is shelter, samshraya, samyak rupena ashraya, samshraya. Suta we know is Suta Goswami. Munaya Prashamayana. Munaya we know the sages. Prashamayana is engaged in devotional service. How about this word, Sadhya? We see this repeated so many times, right? What is this word?
Immediately.
At once.
Yeah, at once, immediately, instantly. Very good. Punanti, what do we relate this to?
Repeatedly, Mataji.
Purify.
Purify, right? Punanti.
Purified. Yeah.
Yeah, purified, like punya, you know, like it makes good. So that's how I try to remember. Punya is, you know, you do when you do some good deeds. So punanti is like purifying, you know, something like good. Good. It has a good connotation to it. Upasprishta. Upasprishta means?
Association of pure devotees.
Yeah, very nice. How do we remember? Upa is going near, right? Like we say, Isho Upanishad. Upanishad. That means to go and sit near and learn, right? Upanishad. So upasprishta, sprishta. How I try to remember is sparsha. Sparsha is like for touching, right? Upasprishta is going near or getting association like that. Swardhun, we went over this word. This is another name for
Ganges.
Mother Ganges, yeah. And Preeti Mataji had actually told us the meaning for this, why, you know, she's called Swardhuni. Because the flowing of Mother Ganges is like music to the ears, right? Swardhuni. That's why that's her name, like that. Apo, we know. Bhumirapo nalo vayu. Apo means
Water.
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 Anusevaya. Anusevaya means?
To serve.
To serve.
To serve. Sevaya is serve. Anusevaya is, you know, like persistent serving, or, you know, serving over long term. So what does this is? Sadhya punanti upasprishta yatpada samshaya suta munaya prashamayanaha. So whoever have, you know, taken lotus, whoever has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, you know, and they actually Sadhya punanti upasprishta. That is when they come with the in contact or in association of such people who have taken to the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. What happens? Sadhya punanti. They are immediately purified. We have you know, versus Svardhunya aponu sevaya versus when you take this when you serve Mother Ganga, like, you know, if you take bath in her, or, you know, we take her the water of Mother Ganga on our head, so that will take some time, but the association of a devotee, you know, the purification is instant. That's what is being told in this verse. Beautiful verse. Okay, this one, any volunteers who want to read?
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yeah, please go ahead, Prabhuji.
Swamnam sandarshito dhatram dustaram nistitirshitam kalim sattva haram pumsam karnadhara ivarnamam.
Very nice verse. So this verse is actually glorifying whom?
Spiritual master, Guru.
Yeah, Sutta Goswami here. So the sages are saying that Tvam Naha, unto you we've got the Sandarshito, you know, the association, Dhatra, by the will of providence. And what is he helping them do? He's helping them cross this Dustaram Nistiti Shatam. So he's helping them cross this difficult ocean, you know, of samsara. And Kalim Sattva Haram Pumsam, because these people in Kali Yuga are generally, they lack the sattva guna, right? Sattva haram. So they're in mode of passion and ignorance, and, you know, it's even more difficult for them to cross, because they only when we are at least situated in mode of goodness can we even think about the Lord, right? But if you are in mode of passion and ignorance, it's difficult, because we are running after, we're chasing something, or, you know, nunam pramata kurte vikarma. So when you are in a mode of ignorance, pramatha, you're kind of crazy, right? We see many people who are, you know, in one sense depressed and all that, you know. So that's a sign of mode of ignorance, you know, like, of course, it's a medical affliction in that sense, but you know, we do see these symptoms around in Kali Yuga very often, right? So yeah, it lacks sattva gunam. In Kali Yuga, we lack this guna, most of the people. Karnadhara Ivarnavam. So he is the captain. The Guru is the captain of the ship who can help us cross this miserable material ocean. Okay, let's move on to today's verse. So I was thinking of Prabhuji, you know, you had asked, I think a few classes back, like what is a good verse to recite before, you know, a Bhagavatam class. So this is one of the verses which is actually recommended here. So we will, any volunteers who want to repeat after me, we will, it's an easy verse, I'm sure most of
Yes,
you know.
Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Okay, please repeat after me. Narayanam namaskritya
Narayanam namaskritya
naram chaiva narotamam
naram cheva narottamam
devim saraswatim vyasam
devim saraswatim vyasam
tato jayamudirayet.
tato jayamudirayet.
Narayanam namaskritya
Narayanam namaskritya
naram chaiva narotamam
naram cheva narottamam
devim saraswatim vyasam
devim saraswatim vyasam
tato jayamudirayet.
tato jayamudirayet. Thank you, Mataji.
Narayanam namaskritya
Narayanam namaskrutyam
naram chaiva narotamam
naram cheva narottamam
devim saraswatim vyasam
devim saraswatim vyasam
tato jayamudirayet.
tato jayamudirayet.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, let's
Thank you,
try to
Mataji.
decipher this verse by ourselves, you know. Narayanam, anybody wants to say what's the meaning?
Lord Narayan.
Lord Krishna.
Yeah, Narayana. Yeah, very good. Namaskritya.
I offer my
Saying of
respectful obeisances unto him.
It's very good. Yeah, we have to just, you know, keep in mind many times, because there is a lot of sound here ending in the words Naram, Narayanam, Narottamam, Devim, Saraswatim. Yeah. So many people tend to say Namaskrityam also. So just keep in mind that it's not Namaskrityam, it's Namaskritya. Okay. Just a small note there, because you know there's so many words ending in so we tend to do Namaskrityam also there. So yeah, let's just keep that in mind. Naram cha eva narottamam. So who is this referring to?
Narnarayan Vishnu.
Yeah, Nara Narayana Rishi. Very good. Devim. And who are Nara Narayana Rishi? Anybody remember?
Mataji, can I say one thing really quick?
Yanma? Sorry?
Can I say one thing really quick?
I didn't get you. I couldn't hear you.
Can I say one thing really quick?
Yes, go ahead.
Mataji, from many years, my whole entire family has been saying Narayanam Namaskrityam. And like now we got to know that it's actually Narayanam Namaskritya.
I don't blame any of you.
For letting us know.
It's very commonly, you know, like it just rhymes like that together, right? So many speakers do that. Actually, I was discussing this with my husband today, and he was like, make it a point to tell in the class, because I know many people say it that way. I was like, why would anybody say that way, you know? But now I understand it's like very commonly pronounced like that. It's okay.
But he is very good observer, Mataji. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Even I do like that sometimes. Actually, yeah.
yeah, like today morning's class, I saw Prabhuji, you had that question where you asked about the 3.3 crore demigods, right? All my life, I grew up listening 33 crores, you know. Today morning it was a revelation that it's only 3.3, not 33. So that was like, wow, a big find. So thank you for that. I was going to ask that question. I saw you ask in the chat. It was
Yeah, Mataji, because one of my cell member asked me, I was not able to answer him. So it is good Prabhu has clarified yesterday. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, so naram chaiva narottamam. So this is referring to the Nara Narayana Rishi. The Nara Narayana Rishi, if anybody remembers or recalls from Bhagavatam, they are the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it is said in the Bhagavatam that is the fourth incarnation. Like these, they are like twin brothers, sages, and also it's mentioned in the Mahabharata that Naram actually, their incarnation in turn is none other than Krishna and Arjuna themselves. So the Nara, the human, the Jiva Tattva is none other than Arjuna in Dwapara Yuga. And there's also references like, so these Naranarayana sages, they were actually born to, they're actually grandsons of Daksha, and they were born to the daughter of Daksha, Murti. The daughter's name is Murti, so they were born to the daughter. And in Treta Yuga, and it's said that they have been observing a lot of penances since time immemorial. You can imagine from Krita Yuga, they have been observing penances. And during the time when Lord Krishna was actually winding up his pastimes on this planet, at the end of, close to the end of Dwapara Yuga, he tells Uddhava, actually it's explained in the 11th canto, he tells Uddhava that please go to Badrikashrama and get the association of the sages. Actually, Prabhupada explains in the purport that Krishna tells that, the sages have been doing a lot of austerity for so long, but Krishna did not give them darshan so long. So he says, Uddhava, you're non-different from me. Uddhava's form is very much like Krishna. Actually, even when the gopis, Uddhava goes to meet the gopis get confused for a minute, like, is this Krishna himself there? Like that. So he resembles Krishna a lot, his bodily features, everything. And so Krishna says, Prabhupada writes in the purport that, Krishna says that you're non-different from me. So, when they take the sages, I have not given them darshan, but they'll be happy to take your darshan and, go and get their association. So he tells Uddhava that after Krishna, leaves the planet, after the pastimes, Uddhava must head to the Badrikashram. That's what he advises Uddhava. That's some background, so that we can remember Narayana Rishis. So they're very exalted souls. And they're the fourth incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Devim Saraswatim. This is referring to easy one, right? The goddess of learning. Vyasam, none other than Vyasadeva.
Vyasdev.
Very good. Tato Jayam Udirayet. So we have to offer obeisances to these great personalities and then, start our reading of the Srimad Bhagavatam. That is what is being said here. Tato Jayam. So you offer your obeisances and then start the Jayam Udirayet. Like you start the reading of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's see the translation as Srila Prabhupada has given us. Before, any volunteers you want to read?
Read Mataji.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author.
Very nice. So it's sometimes, we tend to, think that how can Vyasadeva say that offer obeisances unto himself, right? So there are some references which say that, this verse was actually written by Ganesha when he was acting as a scribe, for the Mahabharata. So this is actually the first verse which comes in Mahabharata also. So that's what they say, because Vyasa wouldn't say offer obeisances unto me, right? So that's what I've heard. So yeah, I hope the meaning is clear. And Any volunteers who want to recite now? Please take turns and recite. It's a very nice verse. Please do take the opportunity. Yeah, Tulsi Manjari, you can go ahead.
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet.
Thank you, Mataji. Bhavna Mataji, please go ahead.
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्.
Thank you. Bharat Prabhu, please go ahead.
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्.
Yeah. Bhakti Sangha. Preeti, is that you?
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्.
Thank you. Gayatri, Mataji, you want to go ahead?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. I hope I didn't leave anybody. All of you got a turn. Okay, let's just go. I forgot to go through the word for word, but I think it's quite obvious, right? Narayanam, the personality of Godhead, Narayana. Namaskritya, Namah after offering respectful obeisances. Naram cha eva, and Narayana Rishi, Narottamam, the supermost human being. Devim, the goddess, Saraswatim, the mistress of learning. Vyasam, Vyasadeva, Tata, thereafter, Jayam, all that is meant for conquering, Udirayet, to be announced. Udira, it's like saying something, right? To say. So that to be announced, that's what it means. Okay. Yeah, so I just have one picture clue for this. I thought this is a very simple verse, so it only has the names. So I did not give, only I gave the reference for Narayana Rishi. And okay, anybody wants to recite the verse, or I can recite it, 3 times, and then we can call it a day. If anybody has questions, please go ahead.
Should we ask question now or at the end, Mataji?
Yeah, now is a good time. We're almost ending. So
yeah, Mataji, previous slide, can you go? Slide number 11.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this last word, Mataji, Tato Jayam Udiriyed, or some people like me, Tato Jaya Mudiriyed. Can we say Mudiriyed also, or we have to say Tato Jayam Udiriyed?
Yeah, Udirayet is good. Like if you're combining, like if you see the Sanskrit, it says Tato Jaya Mudirayet. So,
exactly.
if you're combining, you can say it together. So
it's okay, na? It is okay to say.
It is okay. It is
Jaya
okay.
Mudirayet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
And if you want more reference, to this, actually, in a very recent Bhagavatam class, there is one Prabhuji called Sureshwar Sham Prabhuji. He gave a class on, Naranarayana Rishi. And actually, there's another interesting fact about Naranarayana Rishi I learned from his class. They are the deities, for Bharatvarsha. So, different Varshas in the Jambu Dvipa, they have different deities, right? Like that. So for Naranarayana are the deities for Bharatvarsha. That's another interesting fact I learned. So I can give you a link to his class. You can go listen. There's a lot of references. He has given a lot of insight into who these sages Naranarayana are, and a lot of references he's compiled, from different places. It'll be a good class to listen.
And also, Mataji, like because we are not Sanskritinos, we don't know much Sanskrit, but sometimes we either by, of course, whatever Srila Prabhupada has given, we try to do. But if by mistakes, if some offenses happens by reciting, will it be like sinful, or how it is? Like unknowingly, like for example, some devotees, they said like Namaskritya we say namaskritam like that. Is that any means unknowingly we are doing? It is not that intentionally. So, is there any problem in doing that, or like consequence of that by not reciting properly? That is my question.
Well, because this is Kali Yuga, there's a lot of lenience given, and also there is a lot of detail given in the Nectar of Devotion. Also, like the three stages of chanting. There was a beautiful class yesterday also. So like nama bhas, like accidental errors which we are doing, in chanting, that Krishna is bhavagrahi janardhana. So he takes the essence, the love and devotion with which we offer him, the efforts which we take, that's more pleasing to Krishna. So he tends to discount these things. But that said, it's a good practice to learn it properly, right? To glorify the Lord. So we can pray to Krishna to give us that, that intelligence to learn it properly and recite it properly. But of course, if we are making any mistakes, that's the sign of Kali Yuga, that we tend to make mistakes, right? So Krishna is forgiving in that sense, but nonetheless, we should um, try to learn the
Thank you,
proper
Mataji.
way to say it.
Thank you for you also, and Bhakti Sangha group. They are very generous in distributing this, because we very rare classes we see on Bhagavatam. Other classes, like especially teaching word by word and sloka by sloka. That's how I liked it, Mataji. That's why I don't want to miss. I'm eagerly waiting when the Wednesday, Thursday comes. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Prabhuji. Yeah, it's very inspirational for me also to learn, in the Association of Devotees. So, yeah, actually, I'll take this opportunity to glorify so many organizers who are behind this, like they don't come to the forefront, but they're doing so many services selflessly, day in and day out. Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, like she prepared the video of all the verses I recited. She just took it upon herself and did it. And Preeti Mataji also. So many Matajis are there behind us. So I'm very grateful to them for giving me this opportunity. Okay, are there any more questions, or we can just recite the verse and call it a night?
Hare Krishna Mataji, just to confirm one thing, that earlier the class timing was 1 hour after, like 6:50 a.m. IST, but now it has become 5:50 a.m. IST?
Yeah, we had this daylight saving, last Sunday. So
Okay.
yeah, it's going forward. So yeah, in India it starts. Is that too early for you, Mataji?
No, it's okay, Mataji. I was just confirming just because earlier the time was 1 hour later. That's why.
Yes, you're right, Mataji. Yes. So yeah, it starts at 5:50 India time. You're right.
It's okay, Mataji. No issue.
Thank you, Mataji. You are being so enthusiastic and joining in spite of the
Thank you,
time.
Mataji. Hmm.
Okay, we'll recite this verse, 3 times, and then we will sign off for today. Okay. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं tato jayamudirayet. Thank you, everybody. We'll recite the Vaishnav Pranam mantra. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evcha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nantukoti Vaishnav.
Shukeswari Mataji ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for
Sagari
the
Mataji.
Dandat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Yay. Thank you everyone for joining. We'll meet again next Wednesday.